Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage endorsed candidate for governor of Wisconsin, Tim Michels.
My old man, sad old man, spent his life living off the land. Breaks his heart seeing foreign cars filled with fuel that isn't ours, and wearing cotton we didn't grow. He's got the red, white, blue flying high on the farm, Semper Fi tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag, and the back it says USA. He won't buy nothing that he can't fix. With WD-40 and a Craftsman wrench, he ain't prejudiced. He's just made in America. He loves his wife, and she's that wife that decorates on the 4th of July, but says every day is Independence Day. She's golden rule, teaches school. Some folks say it isn't cool, but she
This is absolutely incredible. It's a beautiful Friday evening in Wisconsin in the summertime, and you are out here because you're concerned about America just like I am, and we are going to take this country back. I am running for governor of the great state of Wisconsin because our current governor, Tony Evers, is weak. He's been weak from COVID to Kenosha, and we are going to replace him with strong, proven executive leadership and get this state headed in the right direction. Like all of you, you're so concerned about what's happening in America right now. You want to do something about it. Same with my wife and me. Stand up, Barbara. Stand up there. Say hi to everybody. My beautiful wife, Barbara, everybody. And my daughter, Sophie's over here as well with me on the campaign trail all day long. Wave, Sophie. And my son, Will. Stand up, Will. You got to show everybody the hat there. Yeah, look at that thing. Woo! Barbara and I said back in February, we can't take it anymore. This country is on a slippery slope towards socialism. It's cloaked behind CRT. It's cloaked behind BLM. It's cloaked behind defund the police. But we can see what's going on, and we said if we have the ability to make a difference, then shame on us if we don't. And we are going to make a difference. It's been too long. It's been too long since President Trump has been out of office as well. I wish he was president today. Joe Biden and Tony Evers are two peas in a pod. Both career politicians and way over their head. I challenge people. Tell me one thing that either of them has done well. Joe Biden, from the botched Afghanistan withdrawal to inflation today, $4 or $5 gas, $6, $7 diesel. What did they think was going to happen? Tony Evers, the governor here in Wisconsin, Kenosha was burning. And where was he? He showed up days later. I'm the kind of guy that would be there on the first evening in the first hour providing leadership. It's what I've done my whole life from being a commanding officer. From being a commanding officer to a successful businessman, that is the kind of background and experience that is lacking in government today. The number one problem that we have in government is too many legislators. There's some good ones, but a lot of them, they go to the Capitol building in Madison or the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and their number one priority is to get reelected. And that's how we got where we are today. I am not doing this for a political career. I have served my whole life, and I want to serve the people of Wisconsin and make Wisconsin the greatest state that it possibly can be. So I see a lot of new faces out there like, what's Tim talking about? Commanding officer, successful businessman. I was born and raised in a little town about an hour north of here, just south of Fond du Lac, Brownsville, Wisconsin. Population 342 as a kid growing up. I looked out my bedroom window, the bedroom I shared with my brother. All I saw was dairy farms and cornfields. Helped the farmers around there bale hay and pick rocks. Everybody know what picking rocks is, by the way? Gotta love it. Gotta love it, Wisconsin. 9 years old, my dad put me to work. He put a shovel in my hand. I was actually filling pea gravel bags. And I learned a tremendous work ethic from some wonderful people. But you know the most important thing they taught me? They taught me that your word is your bond. That when you shake somebody's hand and you agree to do something, that's as good as gold. We need more of that in government. We need more of that in America. So I went to college up in Green Bay, St. Norbert College, and I got into ROTC. When I graduated, I was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the infantry in the United States Army. And like I do everything in life, I went all in. I went to airborne school, paratrooper school, ranger school, air assault school, jungle warfare school, low-intensity conflict school. And after 12 years, I got out at the rank of major. A lot of hard days and a lot of hard nights over those 12 years. And all you veterans out there know what I'm talking about. How many veterans out there? Stand up, all you veterans. Thank you for your hoo-wah. Woo! Rangers lead the way. God has blessed America. Look at all those people that stood up. A lot of hard days and a lot of hard nights like I had in my 12 years. But I'll tell you, the greatest honor I had in my 12 years of service was being the commanding officer of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. So I got out of the Army, brought my new bride, Barbara, back. We moved to Oconomowoc, just about 20 minutes west of here. Rejoined the family business, the one where I started filling those pea gravel bags. Unfortunately, a year later, my dad passed away, founder of the company. Dad started that company in 1960. He was the boss, he was the foreman, he had 4 employees. And my mom drove the dump truck. I'm telling you, she could work a mean stick shift. Dad passed away, we had a few hundred employees. Today at Michels Corporation, we employ over 8,000 people. Great family supporting jobs. The average pay, the average wage for a laborer at Michels Corporation is $97,000 a year. With great health care and great benefits. We know that if you take care of people, great things will happen. And that's what I'm going to do as governor of Wisconsin. I'm going to take care of the people of this state. So you say, Tim, what do you do with these 8,000 employees? We build energy infrastructure. We keep the lights on. We put power lines up and big pipelines, like the Keystone Pipeline. In fact, on Inauguration Day, Joe Biden gets sworn in. What's the first thing he does? He sounds an executive order canceling the Keystone Pipeline. That night, Joe Biden is dancing at his inaugural ball. We had to lay off 700 hard-working men and women. What did he think was going to happen? He didn't think. $4 or $5 gas, $6, $7 diesel, driving up the cost of everything. Inflation was so predictable, but he didn't care because all he wanted to do was please his environmental zealot supporters. Didn't care about the people that were going to go to the pump. Doesn't care about you. We need to have proven executive leadership in government, and that's what I'm going to do here in the state of Wisconsin. So President Trump, he and I met down at Mar-a-Lago. It was supposed to be a 20-minute meeting. It lasted an hour and 15 minutes. We talked about the governor's race. We talked about politics. We spent a lot of time talking about building things. I am here to tell you how sharp that man's mind is. He asked me questions like, Tim, why do sometimes you build two 30-inch pipelines next to each other, and why not just build one 42-inch pipeline instead? Do you remember pi back in school, 3.14? It's what you use to determine the volume of product that can go through a cylinder. President Trump was doing this in his head. By the way, the answer is one 42-inch pipeline carries about the same amount of product as two 30-inch, but he knew that in his head. He asked me questions like, how do you build a subway tunnel 80 feet under the streets of Manhattan in New York? How does a tunnel boring machine work? I'll tell you what, we hit it off fabulously. He's a builder, I'm a builder. He's an outsider, I'm an outsider. He's a businessman, I'm a businessman. And that's why he said, Tim, I'm going to endorse you. So one quick little story. I'm going to share a little insight. So my daughter, Sophie, I said she's always with me on the campaign trail, right? She has my phone all the time. They don't let me tweet. And Sophie, I gave a speech to a group of business leaders in downtown Milwaukee. They're very concerned about the direction of Milwaukee. Crime is running rampant. Education is atrocious. And they said, Tim, we think that you're going to be the man that can get Milwaukee headed in the right direction. But anyhow, I walk over by Sophie, and she has my phone. President Trump doesn't know I have his caller ID, so don't tell him, all right? Sophie holds up my phone. She goes, Dad, it's President Trump. So I answer, hello, it's Tim. Tim, this is Donald Trump. I'm going to endorse you because you're a winner, and I'm a winner, and I want to win, and you're a businessman. That's my President Trump invitation, so. It was a great moment, but it hasn't changed a single thing that we've been doing. We've been mission-focused from day one, and that's why we've been surging. The endorsement of President Trump, we just kept moving forward. It's been a great, tremendous boost to our campaign, a great endorsement of the enthusiasm that we have, but we're mission-focused. And then Governor Tommy Thompson endorses me after that. Great endorsement from a great unifier, 4 times elected governor of Wisconsin. We didn't change a single thing that we're doing there either. Proud to have the endorsement of Governor Thompson as well. But despite everything, what the polls say, and they're really good, by the way, it's the anecdotal evidence that I get everywhere I go. People are coming up to me and they're saying, Tim, thank you for running. I've been waiting for someone that's not a career politician. I've been waiting for a businessman, an outsider, a veteran. That's what we need more of in government. That's the way our founding fathers intended it to be. If you will, back in the day, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, take your real life experience, go to the legislature, serve for a couple terms, and then go back and let somebody else do it. So what am I going to do when I'm governor? The very first thing, my number one priority is election integrity. I'm going to get rid of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. It should have been done a long time ago by my predecessor. I'll tell you what. When I took that oath of office, I swear to uphold and defend the Constitution. That was not a 12-year commitment or a 4-year commitment or a 6-year commitment. As you veterans know, that's a lifelong commitment. I'm going to get election integrity back here in Wisconsin. We are going to stop the Zuckerbucks, out-of-state billionaires coming into the state and taking control of our election process. Won't happen anymore. I'm going to stop the ballot harvesting. I'm going to make sure that this indefinitely confined status stops. Just because you may have had COVID 2 years ago doesn't mean that you should get a ballot, in some cases I've heard multiple ballots, mailed to you for the rest of your life. This is the United States of America. You need to show an ID to get on an airplane. You need to show an ID to buy liquor. Your ballot is sacred, and you can show an ID to get your ballot once again. I take that oath right now before you again. I swear to uphold and defend the Constitution. If we don't have fair and transparent elections, our entire constitutional system comes crumbling down. This is the United States of America. It's not some third world country. It's not some banana republic. We should not even be having this conversation 21 months after the election. Was it rigged? Was it fixed? I'm going to stop it. My number 2 priority is to reduce crime. Crime is at a 30-year high in Wisconsin. Murder, assault, violent crime at a 30-year high. And most of it happened in the last 2 years. Why? I believe it's a byproduct of the defund the police movement. How did we get to this point in America where less police is better? Where police are bad? What am I talking about? Barbara's brother's a cop. Barbara's brother's in law enforcement. He told me this story last summer. He said, Tim, I used to go to my backyard neighborhood barbecue, and my neighbors would be like, hey, Greg, come on in, back to blue, tell us some stories, have a beer. He said last summer, everything changed. It was, hey, Greg, come on in, welcome. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm not so sure I'm supposed to like you anymore. How did this cultural shift happen in America? It happened through bad leadership. It's because people like Joe Biden and Tony Evers want to coddle the criminals. Well, you understand, it's not all their fault. They're kind of a victim of the society that they grew up in. What about the 99.9% of the law-abiding citizens that are the victims of these crimes? That's who I'm going to stand up for. Every law enforcement officer in this state is going to know that the governor himself wore a uniform, albeit a military uniform, for 12 years on active duty as an Army Ranger. But they're going to know that I do have their back. And then these catch and release DAs that are letting these guys out in the street the next day, I'm going to fire them. I give you that oath once again. When I'm governor, we will have rule of law again back in the state of Wisconsin. My big third priority, my other big priority is education reform. I went to public school, Lomira, hour north here as well, K through 12. It worked for me, but that was over 40 years ago. Education is not only bad, it's getting worse. If there's one thing that Tony Evers should be able to do well, it's with education. He's been an educrat his entire life, his entire career. For the past 13 years, he's been deputy superintendent of education. He's been the superintendent of the Department of Public Instruction, and now he's been governor. And under his education leadership, education has continued to go down and down and down in Wisconsin. It has to stop, and it will stop. How bad is it? Barbara and I toured a school in downtown Milwaukee, inner city. And the guy told me, you know, just up the street, there's a school here. The reading comprehension skill score at that school is 0. 0. Reading is the foundation to learning. Reading is the foundation to learning. Reading and writing and arithmetic. Reading is the foundation to life, to being happy and getting the job and being part of a team. If you can't read, you are doomed. And the reading comprehension score at this school was 0. How are we going to do better? We're going to bring competition into the education marketplace, and we're going to do that through universal school choice. Competition is a great motivator. It might be the greatest motivator. At Michels Corporation, if we're not innovating every day, we're losing. If we're not trying to get better every day, we're getting beat. That's what we're going to do. We're going to bring education into the competition into the education marketplace. And what's going to happen? Parents are going to be in control of where their sons and daughters go to school, and those tuition dollars will go with them. And if they don't like the way their kids are being taught, they can go somewhere else. And if parents don't like how it's being taught, they can go somewhere else. We will stop the CRT and we will get back to the ABCs. Those are my big three priorities, but there's so much to do. Economy, jobs, it's going to be my big priority from the first day I'm sworn in until the last day I leave the governor's office. And I know how to do that as a businessman. I know how to create jobs. I'm not just some politician standing up here talking about it. I've done it, helping grow Michels Corporation from a few hundred to 8,000. And we had thousands of people working by our side that made that possible. We treat those people well. And we did it despite the government bureaucracy, despite the excessive taxation, and despite that liberal attitude. As Barack Obama said, you didn't build that. We did build that with all those hardworking people at our side. And that is the American dream that my mother and father had, the American dream that I have with my brothers and my family. And I want to make sure that future generations have the same opportunity for the American dream. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. This is very powerful what happened. Great gathering of people. I stand before you. I'm a candidate that is taking no money from PACs or lobbyists or special interests. It's too much of that special interest money in government. I've been very blessed that I've been able to do that. But my opponent, her husband's a lobbyist as well. We need to get those people out of government. We need to bring some purity back into government. We need to have that proven executive experience. People that have, like me, that have made plans, executed those plans, and solved problems. People find that so refreshing. Everywhere I go, I have guys coming up to me and they say, Tim, I work in the union, but you know what? The Democratic Party has left me. All they care about now is LGBTQ and drag queen shows for third graders. I just want to go to my job. I just want to go to work, raise my family, go to my kids' ball game, maybe go to church on Sunday. You, Tim, you represent the working man. I know that you wore boots your whole life. 12 years I wore Army boots. 25 years I wore steel-toe boots. That is refreshing, and that's what people want. We gather together because today is the beginning of a different era. We're going to take back America. Together, we're going to beat Tony Evers. Together, we're going to get Wisconsin headed in the right direction and make it the greatest state that it can be. I ask for your vote on August 9th. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you so much.